It is time for the Dark Horse adventures to continue. We are back here at Karnage HQ in Orange County, California with some pretty epic cars and at last reunited with the American Shmeemobile. After the fun last year, taking delivery of my Ford Mustang Dark Horse, driving in a very short time, 6,500 miles, we're now ready for it to begin again. Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where today we're actually taking the car back out for a first drive of the year to go down to San Diego for a modification, which is something I have never previously done on a car that I've owned ever before. This is going to be fun. We're back with the Mustang. Let's do this. The first thing that I need to do is to put a tag on the back of the car, because for its first month or two, we've been running on a temporary tag, effectively a piece of paper in the rear window, which has confused me a lot because that's not a European thing that you can do at all. However, while I've been gone, the correct plate has now arrived for this car. We've got a very full boot or trunk out here. However, this is slightly awkward because it literally has a slang word on it, and I'm going to have to change it. That's my plate. 28DYKE. We're going to leave it at that for the time being, but I will need to just pop this on in a plate frame, get it on the car, because I've got to keep it legal and all of that, get this mounted up correctly before we can take it out for the first drive back at the wheel. That's the plan to get us started, but during this trip, we're going to be heading out to Arizona, to the auction week, which last year was where I first ever saw one of these. The Ford Mustang Dark Horse was on display at the Barrett-Jackson auction, and in fact, they actually auctioned chassis number 1 as well to raise money for charity. So fast forward, I have since taken delivery of this car at Pat Milliken Ford in Detroit, driven it over 6,000 miles on a tour all the way down to Florida and across the country to SEMA in Las Vegas, where it was displayed with Ceramic Pro. But we're back, ready to get this more underway. I think first, we should have a quick look at the cars that are around us here. This is not exactly a bad way to get the day started. Here with my friend HyperNFT's collection, we've got a trio of the MSOXs out of only 10 that exist in the world. We've got the Koenigsegg Agera RS Valhalla, one of the 25 Agera RSs, and I drove that a while back. We've also got our friend Faster's Pininfarina Battista. Now, I've not driven a Battista, but I'd be very interested to find out what that thing is actually like. Not only those, we've also got the McLaren Senna GTR we drove with the Zenvo over to Cars and Copters in convoy with the Senna GTR and the Marlboro livery. We've got the Bugatti Chiron Pursport, which, to be honest, is probably my favorite of all of the Chirons. Come past some of the bikes, the Apollo IE. This thing needs very little of an introduction, only 10 in total in the world. Some of the Lambos, like the Huracan STO, the Aventador SVJ Jago, one of 10, the other SVJ GT3 RS. And then, of course, over here, my little beast, my little slice of American muscle in the form of the Dark Horse, ready, I think, pretty much to hop in, get this started, take it on out, go get back behind the wheel, having driven the GT500 over in the UK since, and be reminded what this thing is all about. One thing that I've noticed with this, which I guess is down to battery power, is that when you unlock it or lock it, it hadn't been doing that. It hadn't been doing the light show, that little dance that it does when you just open up the car, which I had presumed was due to low battery, but it's clearly just had enough time. I was running it for about a minute, and that has made it happy, doing its nice little light dance. So let's come through and get this started, ready for the drive that is ahead of us. 6,542 miles on my Mustang Dark Horse, even though I've been out of the country for 2 months. Right, let me press the button. Oh yeah, sounds like a monster, ready to be taken out and go have some fun. I nearly forgot to put the plate on, but I have remembered, which means finally we have this. And I actually asked Pat Milliken if I could use their plate frame on it, just because it's cool, you know. I met the team there from all of the Ford GTs they supplied. They were the #1 new Ford GT supplier in the world. And that's why I decided to order this car through them, and obviously collected it from there. And now we can wear the plate frame for the time being. Maybe we'll change it up in the future. Get some Shmee 51s. Is that on? Is that how you do it? No, I've got to screw that on a bit more. We'll get there in a second, and then we'll get ready to hit the road. We are go then, back in this beastly thing. Now, when I drove the GT500 recently, I was talking, obviously, about the comparison between the two because they're both Mustangs, and while they are 6th gen and 7th gen, they are very similar as well. Yes, obviously a lot has stepped up in terms of the technology and the screens and the displays and stuff, but the biggest difference is between my particular two, because one is a dual clutch, supercharged, overpowered monster. The other is a little bit more balanced, this car in particular, which is all about the Tremec manual gearbox and about the driving experience. And it's something that in 2024, because although I got it in 23, it's a model year 24, you can still buy a car with a proper manual gearbox and a naturally aspirated V8 engine. That's just cool. That's something that any of us petrol heads are fearing the end of. You know, it's not going to exist forever. I just need to get myself comfortable back in here again. The tyre pressures feel a little bit low. They're about 30, 31 PSI all around. Obviously just from sitting, something to be slightly aware of. Probably pop some air back into them at some point before long. And this road is rough. This road is very, very, very choppy. But it's good to be back, having come out to the US actually only about a week ago, 10 days ago, to go to firstly CES in Las Vegas and then over to the Motor Enclave in Florida, but without my car. It's always strange to come to America and not drive my car while I'm here. So we're back at the wheel, we'll get comfortable with it. We've got a bit over an hour from here in Irvine, Orange County, down towards San Diego, where we're headed today, which is actually to a very cool setup with Ceramic Pro. The relevance of which, of course, is that this car has the full Ceramic Pro KAVACA paint protection film, which has done a very good job of keeping it looking amazing, because once you've done this many miles on these kind of trips, you'd have chips and damage all over the place. So really pleased with how it's looking now. Let's just make ourselves some progress and crack on towards our destination. We are very much cruising. We're actually right beside the Pacific Ocean at the moment, which is quite fun. I have never been down to San Diego, which I think is probably a mistake, because there's actually a ton of cool car stuff down there. But one thing that I have not missed with this car is that it's already crashed. It's already lost my wireless Android Auto almost as soon as we left. I don't understand why this system is so laggy and bad. I do like that you can customize it. You know, we set it all up with the purple and lime green on the day that we dropped off the Zenvo to send it back home, and that's all quite nice. But I don't understand why it's so unstable. Could be also to do with the fact that I've got quite an old phone, and I do have a new one at home, even though we're here. Whatever, long story, but it feels like the sun's trying to break through. It's a nice gentle drive. Roads are not the best, I'm not gonna lie. We're taking our time down towards San Diego. Just literally as we're arriving at our exit, the car has just pinged up a fault at me for tyre pressure sensor fault. Yeah, so it's lost the front left tyre pressure, which is a little bit random. No idea why that is. I don't think we have any kind of puncture, just a sensor that's not reading correctly. The things that happen when you leave cars parked up for a while, even if it's a brand new Mustang, just likes to plague you with some troubles. I do like those downshifts though. Anyway, we are nearly there, thankfully. Well, the good news is that the tyre pressure sensor is back. So I think that was just a glitch. We just had a quick lunch stop, came back out, and the car has found its front left pressure again. So probably nothing to worry about. I'll keep my eyes on it anyway. There's a GT500 in Twister Orange. No track pack, but very nice. That's fun. I don't entirely know what this is, but there is a whole field filled with old fighter jets and planes and cool stuff. Yeah, not sure. On the back of that car in front of us, Buzz Lightyear is holding Woody up the ladder. Don't fall, Woody. That is crazy. There's a sinkhole right here. The ground has literally collapsed. They told us about this. Slow and Steady does it over the building. That is dramatic, very dramatic. But anyway, we're here. Ceramic Pro Elite San Diego. This is their facility we're arriving at. This car's been to a whole host of different Ceramic Pro Elite dealers, from doing PPF originally in Chicago to then having a refresh in Las Vegas before going into SEMA, to then also going for a final cleanup and tidy up on the day that I dropped it off with the guys at Karnage HQ. So we are here now. We're going to go inside, have a little chat with the team, figure out exactly what we're going to do and where this is going to take us. So let me get this thing parked up for the moment just here. Oh, nice to have the good clear display. Very easy. After a successful, we've already driven around 80 or 90 miles. Oh, wow, that's cool. 992 GT3 just casually rolls in as well. As you do. Very nice, very nice. Right, let's go in, catch up with the team. Talk about timing, SF90 rolls in. That's interesting with the satin Assetto Fiorano design against the gloss black paint. Carbon wheels, looking good. Nice, very, very nice. Well, it turns out we got here at just the right time. I like all the yellow details. Obviously, Assetto Fiorano wing. That's good. That's nice. Silver wheels against red paint, 296 GTS, and the Hurricane. There's a lot we need to talk about. There are lots of nice cars around here at the moment. My car is here in a very nice lineup then, and we're rejoined by Adam.
Welcome to Ceramic Pro San Diego, Tim.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Of course, we originally caught up in Chicago.
Yes.
Feels like a long time ago, doesn't it?
It does. Time flies.
And that was when my car was getting exactly as that car is right there.
Yes. So, kind of a good married couple. It doesn't matter if it's black or white. We've got a Mustang black getting KAVACA. We've got yours getting cleaned up right now and getting prepped for KAVACA Ultimate IR window film.
I presume this is kind of good process, basically. Tidy it up before you're going to be working on it. Make sure it's
100%, yes, because dust and debris can get in the window film, and you know, every vehicle that comes in here to this elite dealer, we want to make sure that you leave feeling like your car's brand new.
Yep. Well, I'm sure this is going to be looking very cool. We've got to explain a little bit about that and what's going to be done and all of this kind of stuff. But you have a full house right now. Some very nice cars around.
Definitely a full house. It's kind of a weird time of year here. So January, we tend to slow down, but we're having a very good week, yes.
Can't complain at all. All right, well, this is still looking in brilliant shape. Always looks even better when it gets a snow foam. And we will start to explain a little bit more about the plan for today. I've been distracted for a moment to come and show you this Hurricane, which, as you might be able to guess, is a twin turbo. It makes 975 horsepower to the wheels. Hurricane. It's got the Vorsteiner wide body kit, the Titan 7 wheels, and it's the full Alpha 9 package, Alpha 9 spec. And it looks a little bit mean. I mean, Hurricanes are a great platform for doing wild modifications, and that is certainly dialed up a lot. This is, of course, quite a bit of me. This, I think it must be Rosso Imola over the silver wheels, with the Crema, I want to say, interior, with the wraparound footwells. Really nice specification. Dual tone against the Nero. I like that a lot. Very, very much a bit of me, that particular 296 specification. It's kind of funny that the one day we're here in California, it's not really that sunny, because as you figured, what we're doing today is to install window tint. Now, believe it or not, despite this being the 53rd car I've ever owned, which is actually now 54, including the Purosangue back at home, I've never installed window tint on a car that I've owned in my life, which is really quite unusual. But with this being a car that's resident in Florida, as you now know from the plate we've installed, and spending a lot of time in warm and sunny places, normally, like California, Arizona, various road trips that we have planned in the summer, there are obviously some significant benefits to doing the modification of installing window tint, but very specific tint, which is what we're going to find out more about today. So Adam and also Dane, who I'm going to go and find in just a moment, are going to be showing us through the motions and explaining why you do this, but also there is a really cool demonstration thing that you're going to see in a second that will explain a lot more of the benefits of what we're doing. And obviously the benefits of installing KAVACA paint protection film, the proof has been in the pudding with what we've done already and just changing a few small bits here and there and keeping the car looking immaculate. But there's even more you can do to protect your car and keep it in perfect shape. So let's go check that out. This is a pretty special view from here in the showroom. Lots of information around, like the things I took a look at SEMA. But to understand more, we're here with Dane.
Yes, welcome in. And I want to show you the performance of this film because this is a perfect example of what it is you're going to be feeling when this film is installed on your car.
And this is quite special. It's just like when we did the test with the paint protection film. This is going to, in a nutshell, explain why.
Exactly.
All questions
Yeah, all questions answered with this.
with it. So what exactly is this?
So this is a heat lamp, which demonstrates the heat of the sun coming through your car windows. So what we'll do is we'll turn this lamp on, and you'll be able to really feel and also see with a temperature gun how much it really is performing.
Yeah, so I can see no film. Can I just switch it on?
Yep.
Okay, so this is no film. Right, that's warm. Like my hand feels that genuinely warm.
Yes. And then we can rotate through different shades, but the really cool part is this, it messes with your mind when you have a clear panel of glass with film on it and you don't feel any of that heat coming through.
Okay, so this is Ultimate IR70. You don't feel that at all.
Yes.
But it looks clear. And that's the thing with Ultimate IR, that you can have this almost clear film, which is what we're about to be installing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then spin it back. And that's ridiculously hot.
Yes. And we can show you an example too with the temperature gun. I can hold this. If you imagine this book, the interior of your car, you can see it's going to start warming up.
Yeah.
We're at 95, 97, 98 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, warming up fast.
And I'm going to switch it over to the Ultimate IR.
Yeah.
And holding in that same area. And it's going to hold steady.
Low 70s.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like we just said, that would explain everything. So the benefit of this is you can install a tint, which you can have in various different degrees. You could have a much darker look to it if you wanted, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or you can install a clear, effectively tint, because there's an even higher.
Yes, yeah, this is 70. We even have the same film in 80%, which, I mean, it's practically clear. The glass on your car currently is around like 75%.
Yeah, but with all the benefits, especially in hot countries, which I gotta be honest, that car's gonna be spending a lot of time in Florida, California, etc.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be night and day. You're never gonna be able to own a vehicle that doesn't have it.
Should we go and get the installation started?
Let's do it.
Get cracking on?
Yeah.
See how this goes. The Dark Horse is looking clean and tidy. So what are we doing?
So on this car, we're going to do the sides and rear, and these doors right here are what we call frameless, obviously because there's no frame. And so with these windows, the film is going to go all the way to the edge of the glass. And this back deck, it does get pretty tight back here. So I'm going to be climbing in the back of your car and using my long reach tools to get down in there in the bottom. I
was going to say, there's not exactly a lot of space between the angle of that glass and the rear deck.
Very narrow. That's why we have specialty tools to be able to accomplish that job.
Make sure you can defeat the challenges that they've set for you.
Exactly. Yes.
Of course, on this particular car, we have quite the Stormtrooper look.
Yes.
This white paint with all of the black. And darkening the windows would certainly carry a cool factor.
Yes.
One thing I haven't actually mentioned yet is that for me, who is often seen holding a camera out of the car, it's quite important not to darken windows too much, because of course I don't want to lose what I'm actually filming in the first place.
Exactly.
Which kind of makes sense, but I'm super intrigued to see how this is going to shape up. So I think the car will be moved over to one of the other bays in just a second.
Yeah, we're going to move it over to the tint bay and then I'll be able to get started on it.
A little bit of a car swap around, cold start. Sounds very nice from the 296. I need to drive mine more. I really need to drive it more. I promise I will when I get back home. Make the most out of it. I think that's from Ferrari of San Diego, who work closely with Ceramic Pro here. You're right. Back in it goes. Tell you what, I would love for my Mustang to one day meet my 296 and my SF90, as it happens. Nice little sandwich there.
So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this film onto what we call a peel board, which is just a piece of glass. And I'm going to use this to transfer and hold my film while I prep your car. And then I'll move it from here onto the vehicle. The most common question we get is it applied on the inside or the outside? So you're going to see I'm going to shape and mold the film to match the curvature of your glass on the outside of the car, and the film actually is applied on the inside. Okay. So it is confusing because you see me placing it on the outside and you're like, I don't know why you're doing it.
Yeah, but it's going to end up inside.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So what's interesting about frameless windows is when I open the door, you'll notice the glass moves down. So I need to trick the door to think that it actually is closed, so that way I can have full coverage on the glass.
Gotcha, because otherwise you're going to have that awkward, like half an inch, quarter of an inch down at the bottom.
Exactly, yeah. I guarantee you don't want that.
So is it literally, okay, you just pretend that it's shut and it puts it back up?
Yeah, so this is just going to be a post just the same way as in your door jamb.
Yeah.
And I'm going to push this over 2 times. and you can see
Up
that
it goes.
moved up.
Just
So
don't slam it shut now.
do not slam it shut now. You will mar this trim or break your glass.
Yeah.
So please don't shut this.
Yeah, I'll try and stay away. Onto the shaping.
Yes, so I'm gonna place this on the outside again and create fingers to where I'm going to actually shrink the fingers. And what's interesting is with window tint is when I shrink it, it doesn't change the way that it looks. It just will fit the curves.
I get you. So kind of finding the right pinch points and maneuvering it from there.
Yep. So you see, these are what we call fingers
Yeah.
in the industry, and so that's actually what I'm going to be shrinking and applying the heat to.
Got it. Yeah, otherwise you'd never be able to stop them popping back up.
Exactly, they'll just keep popping up.
Oh, that's funky. This is all to just make the shape in advance of installing it.
Yep.
It's funny to think about, isn't it? Because glass curves that way and that way.
Yes. And that has
Just
a
to make-
complex curve, so you'd think looking at it, I mean, it looks relatively flat, but if I didn't shrink this before installing it, I'm gonna be dealing with these fingers and fighting them.
Got to protect the door cards.
Yes, always. All right, now I'm gonna prep the glass. It does look clean, but it's not tint clean. Every piece of dirt you see.
Like the smallest bit of dust you're going to see, aren't you?
Absolutely.
So tint clean. I like that phrase.
Yeah.
It's going to get loud
There's
with
clean and then there's tint clean.
Yeah, perfect. As if by magic, cleaned, and the tint is now on the inside.
Yes.
This is where it needs to be lined up.
Yeah. So I'm looking at what we call the reveal, and watching that and tucking the film past all of your seals on the bottom and the front edge here.
Does it work that you kind of find fixed points and then grow it out from there? Or I guess because it's cut and it's shaped, it happens naturally, it just goes in.
Exactly. So like most of the time I'll look at my corners and then at my overhang here. I don't want it overhanging because if it is, that will eventually peel.
Yeah.
So I'm checking for an overhang and also lining up all my corners.
Done. Easy peasy.
Yeah, so you can see with this film, you can hardly even tell it's on there. So you're not changing the look of your car. But a film like this would be perfect for your Puro Sangue on the dual tone leather interior because it will protect it from getting damaged from heat, sun rot, things like that. So you have a beautiful interior. You want people to see it. So you have a film like this.
I like that you know, that's what it's all about. On that car, it's got the tan and navy leather.
Yes.
And the beauty is being able to see through and see it.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
Oh yeah.
Of course, there's
Show it
one
off.
like cool style, which is the heavy dark tint.
Yes.
But sometimes you don't necessarily want that for the interior. So it's this perfect balance of having the benefit without the full darkness. Just like that, already popping in the rear windows.
Yes, yeah. Have the rear ones, they're quarter windows, and now I'm gonna move on to the back window. And so when I do your rear glass, it's a little bit of a different shrinking process. Because I'm gonna do a process called dry shrinking.
Okay.
Whereas on the side windows, I put water on and place the film on top of it.
It would be slightly more awkward in there.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
It's a funny process seeing the rear window being done like this because there's certainly a moment when you look at it and you're a little bit sketched out by what's going on here.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you wonder if I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but that's the whatever you've applied underneath it so it can move around.
Yeah, so I put dryer sheet underneath on the glass and I let it completely dry. And then I can put the film on top, and that allows me to float the film when I need. But then when I also push on it with my card, you can see it actually will stay.
Yeah. So you can work it and get the curvature into it and
Exactly.
get it ready to be applied properly. This is now the awkward bit from the inside. Climbed into the back of the car. Dane is maneuvering the rear window into position. Expertly done. You very quickly forget how good the cold start is on an SF90. It's a properly powerful grumble from the V8. Car's had a little bit of work done, tidied up, looking pretty, heading out onto its next stop. From 8 cylinders to 6. 296 on the roll as well. I mean, look at that thing. Rosso Imola is a lovely colour. suits the 296 very, very well. Fast forward, and this is where I could say, it looks like you haven't even done anything.
Yes, exactly. That's a compliment. Thank you.
Perfect result. Now, it might have been cloudy and not the warmest weather today, but as soon as I've got this car out in the sunshine, that's where the benefits are gonna.
Exactly, yeah. This Ultimate IR film, which is exclusive to elite dealers, blocks out a ton of heat. It's an insane film, highest performing on the market.
Yeah, so just like we did the Ultimate Armor package, which was installing the full KAVACA paint protection film over the whole of the car and locking it in with the coating as well, this is part of the Ceramic Pro Elite Dealer offerings.
Exactly, exactly. That's it's part of the things that are exclusive to those that want to join in on our Elite Dealer program.
Yeah, and look after the car properly. So the challenge I've got is to go and find some sunshine.
Yes.
That's going to have to come up next. There are more benefits as well, which we haven't talked about, like air conditioning.
Yes, exactly. You're going to run your air conditioning at a lower fan speed, at a higher temperature. It's going to be easier to control your climate. You'll see some better gas mileage in your combustion engine, and for those EV owners, you will see a longer range.
Yeah, which is a big part of that world. Big part of that world. Awesome. Well, I think it's time to get this outside, get on the road,
Absolutely.
Go find some sunshine, night's fallen now, and put it to the test and give some feedback. But
yes.
Right now, beautiful installation. Like I said, don't even know that it's there, and super tidy. Thank you very much for your work on it.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
We're about to hit the road, and the GT3 is coming along with us. That sounds pretty nice, I've got to say. Naturally aspirated flat 6 in the 992 GT3. So that's heading out. Lambo's staying here, but we're going for the drive with the two. Bit of a rally back towards where we're packing up for the night tonight. This car's just had a new Manti setup, very much set for the track. All right, we will get ready for our journey onwards. It is time to go. So off we drive. Now, I'm sure people might be wondering about the lack of tint on the front windshield. Even in Florida, with their very lax rules, it is still technically illegal to do a windshield. This is completely legal. There's something I quite like about that. I know it's perhaps a little bit less exciting than going full YOLO, but off we head out onto the road with my upgraded Dark Horse for the drive back. It is crazy to think that this car has 6,628 miles on it right now as we get this journey back home underway. And having just had tint installed, the guys have obviously heated it in. Dane has gone round to make sure that it's as solid as it can be, but you still don't want to put your windows up and down too much for the first couple of days. So we'll have to take it a little bit easier. But for me, with all of the videos and things we film, especially that we often end up driving in a convoy at night, case in point right now with the GT3 in front, obviously I don't want to go too dark with the tint. I don't want to make my life very difficult when it comes to filming videos and whatever else might happen down the road. So a lot of traffic because California in the evening, but we will make our way back with plenty of downshifts towards base after a successful day out, really. Picking up this car, getting the plate back on it, or on it for the first time, and now wrapping up our drive with the GT3. And I definitely lost on the lanes there. I lost really badly on the lanes. That could not have gone worse. Oh, that's the problem with the intersections. It's a complete game of luck, whether you end up in the right place or the wrong place. God, this sounds beastly. Unfortunately, traffic jam now hits, and well, we're in the HOV lane, the HOV, high occupancy vehicle lane, which isn't really helping any more than being alone in a GT3. I was actually expecting that this lane might go flying past, but alas, oh gosh, the cutting, or what's it called, splitting lanes thing that bikers do here, I find that terrifying. Like going at that decent pace between cars in traffic, oh, just, it's gonna go wrong. It's gonna go wrong. Anyways, yeah, traffic, not what we want, but welcome to California. I'm looking forward to getting to Arizona. That's coming up very soon. Back in a very familiar spot in Orange County with this car, and yes, I'm aware I didn't park particularly well, but only temporarily. Anyway, it's pinged up again about the front left tyre pressure sensor, and we didn't have a valve cap, we noticed earlier, which is a little bit odd. I don't know if that's entirely connected. Maybe some dust gets in there and maybe it stops working, but it didn't really feel like that should be the cause. Anyway, hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not going to be a problem. Today has been great though, to get this car, I guess really continuing the journey of this with Ceramic Pro, from the original visit to the Elite dealer in Chicago for the PPF, to the visit to SEMA in Las Vegas, to now, of course, installing window tint for the first time ever in my life, which is such an odd thing to have never done before, but the car is looking pretty cool, if I can say so myself. And now we're going to start a bit of an adventure ahead, a bit of a road trip, a bit of a drive, a bit of fun with it as we progress what will be 2024's journey almost across the country, but I don't have the specific plans at this stage to do it in the same way we did from when we started, you know, kicking off in Chicago, going all the way down to Florida, and then all the way across. That was literally 4,000 miles in, like, I can't remember exactly, what was it, 2 weeks, 12 days, something stupid like that, to get it to SEMA, to be on display with Ceramic Pro. Anyway, I still need to get it out on track. We need to have a track day with this, going to try and get that planned. I won't necessarily try and do any drag racing with it because I went for the 6-speed manual, not the 10-speed auto, so it's not exactly a drag machine. Maybe at some point out of interest, although I rather suspect it would kind of embarrass itself because it's not that type of car. It wouldn't really be the point. What it is a great fun car to own and use, and to have out here in America when we fly out for different things, to have it ready at the go. And I've got some really exciting plans for the future that I'm working on, which I'll tell you more about as and when, of course. Let's hope we don't have any tyre issues. I mean, it's just a sensor, should be totally fine. But for today, it is a big thanks to the team over at Ceramic Pro Elite in San Diego for everything they've done. If you're interested in any of these packages, the Ultimate Armor or the KAVACA Ultimate IR, do check out the Ceramic Pro Elite dealers to find your nearest Elite dealer, and I'll pop the information about that down below. But yeah, very exciting. Great to be back. A big thanks to Adam and Dane for their time earlier as well, for appearing to teach us and tell us a little bit about the motions for today. We're here, we've got some big plans ahead. I'm looking forward to sharing this journey with you. So thank you very much for watching as always, guys. I hope you're looking forward to the content out here in America to come. But that is it for this time, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.